As an expressive leader, the way I would try to resolve conflict between the vice president and CEO would be by trying to understand the instrumental leaders that are mainly focused on the task. What I would try to do is kind of try to create unity between the two of them and allowing them to express how they feel and define their, division of labor in order to make sure it's ideal bureaucracy. I think that I would try to create a kind of harmony between the two by making sure the vice president knows that he's kind of below the CEO. I mean, he is, and will be held accountable by the CEO. I would kind of do my best to diffuse the tension between the two of them by trying to get them to understand each other. Also, I would try to see if the CEO can lead by more like laissez-faire or democratic style, kind of like AKA being more passive, and that may kind of help the vice president not resent the CEO as much. I mean, overall, it would be pretty hard to work for a company where the CEO and vice president aren't seeing eye to eye and butting heads over issues like this. Wouldn't make for the company to be as successful as it possibly could be. The For the second question, name the three types of formal organizations. Explain how different. Also explain. The three types of formal organizations are voluntary organizations, coercive organizations, and coercive organizations, and utilitarian organizations. Voluntary organizations are associations that members can join and leave freely. This is different from a coercive organization because these people are held in these institutions against their own will. An example of a coercive organization would be something like jails, mental health hospitals, or even being drafted by like the army during a wartime. Utilitarian organizations are formal organizations made for practical reasons. This is different from voluntary and coercive organizations because it's able to be joined and left, but it is something that is pretty essential in life in America. It's kind of a combination of voluntary and coercive organizations because it is voluntary if you want to go like to a university or not, but if it's required for your desired job, then it is kind of described as coercive. All right, so for the third question, this is a characteristic of Weber's ideal bureaucracy because the act of running for office has a plan or an ideal way of going about it. By helping a friend, I would have understood that the way that if normally goes to run for public office, it shows that there is an ideal type of bureaucracy because running for office has an organizational arrangement and elements that are structured in our society. In order to prove my competence under these characteristics, I would follow all the rules and procedures in order to follow the ideal bureaucracy. I would also make sure to follow as I have seen my friend do holding public office seat last term. So for the fourth question, if I saw an employee kind of alienating themselves from the group and the other workers, something I would do to get them to engage in their job would be to socialize with this employee. I'd first start with trying to get them to participate in like small groups to boost the employee satisfaction. I would also encourage the employee to have more flexible, work hours. If work hours were an issue, too long or not enough, If they prefer to have open evenings, then they can come in earlier, or if they would rather sleep in, then allow them to come in, later on throughout the day, kind of whatever fits their lifestyle best. Uh, I would also encourage this employee to work from home if that helps the employee enjoy their job more. Um, I would also check with their coworkers and see if they can include them in, like, just more conversations, possibly meet up with them outside of work, make sure that the employee, feels like a part of the team, because if one person at work isn't, performing at the, same level as the rest of the team, it's not good for business or whatever type of company you're working at. So those are some of the things I would kind of do to, get that alienated coworker back in the group, kind of, get them back on the right track. So that way, they're enjoying their job, and when you enjoy your job, you perform well, and it's a chain reaction of good things.